Hello, hello, and welcome to Blueprints. This is a puzzle game with some roguelite deck building, room assembling elements. It appears to be quite the popular one. A lot of people are playing this. A lot of people have reviewed this. I don't know too much. We are in a house, and we are putting rooms together, and navigating through rooms, and trying to find a mysterious room 46. And there are lots of puzzles, and there are lots of hidden things, and sneaky hidden shortcuts and things, apparently, that I am eager to discover. Right. Let's just get started, shall we?
I, Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
It is in fact day one, and here we are in the foyer. There are immediately things to look at. There are some birds. Are they significant? I don't know. That'll be Mount Holly then. I'm immediately eager to have a look around. Do we have a sprint button? We do, though it doesn't make me move that much faster. There's a gate. There's an interact. Okay, left click to interact. We cannot open this. Well, the place has electricity. It's cool. There are some rocks. Do we have a jump button? It doesn't look like it. There's a reflected pool with some weird-looking indentations around the edge that may or may not mean anything. It is apparently... What time is that? 8:10? Maybe? It kind of just looks like one long clock hand, but that can't be right, surely. I like how I've immediately wandered off. Okay, something boarded up that way. There's a cliff. There's a pipe. There's another pipe. There's a waterfall. There's something down, all the way down there. The mountain. Bird bath. Bench. I'm just wondering how far I can wander off. What's going on down here? It's a bit dark in here. Anybody got a light? There are some braziers, but they are not lit. And I don't think we're getting past this big blockade right now. Okay. Something to remember for the future, though, perhaps. Perhaps. Also, I think we started with 50 steps in the top left, yes? Somehow they've gone down to 49. But I'm not sure whether that's because of anything that I've done or not. Another bird bath. How far down this road can I wander off? 48. Yeah, okay, I'm opening up areas just by exploring outside. But that's fine. I want to see what there is. Private drive. The grounds. Don't think we're going that way. Another bird bath. This place likes its bird baths. This whole area is pretty cool. Something's cooking. Campsite. Due to the rules set forth in your great-uncle's will, you are not allowed to stay in the estate overnight. Luckily, however, your scouting skills have been put to good use to fabricate a very respectable off-site sleeping quarters. You may call it a day at any time for the blueprint menu. Tab can be accessed after picking up the blueprint in the entrance hall. Right. Birch trees. Non-birch trees. There's a little orchard here, but I guess we need a code. We do not need a key, we need a code. Okay. 4-digit code. I could try and force the lock, but we might be here a while. So let's not. Still cool. I've immediately discovered something that we'll need to come back to later. And this looks like another something that we'll need to come back to later. Hello, mystery locked door. With hazard warning stripes. Some kind of a mine, maybe? I'm not sure what year it is. It is some year after, but not that long after, probably. 1993? Right, we should probably actually start doing things in the house, shouldn't we? And I'm using up more steps travelling around from room to room. 44 to get back into the entrance hall. Entrance hall rank 1, by the way. Searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter the room, you will use 1 step. You no longer have any steps left. You'll be too tired to continue searching the manor and must call it a day. And everything resets when you do that. There is an ace of spades. And a queen of diamonds. This clock has a different time. This is saying it's 7 minutes to 9. I've got no idea where that is, if it's supposed to be a real location. Jar, chairs, flowers. Remember to look up. There's a little hook at the bottom of this chandelier. Does that mean anything? Who knows? Open only in the event of my death. Simon, welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your many visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with as much amusement as it did in those lost summer days. By the time you read this, I will assume you are fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of the bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you nothing could have been further from my mind when I chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules of this commission covered in the fine print of my will that I feel I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from the outside. Tools or items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and not rely on the successes of the previous day. One final word of advice. Do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half-century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, don't go where the path leads, abandon the path and go where you want it to lead. With all my best love and wishes, best of luck, Herbert S. Sinclair. Okay. I don't know if I should be taking notes. Apparently many people have. The blueprint serves as a useful map and inventory log during your adventure, accessed by pressing tab. Do I need to do it now? I do. We're in the entrance hall. Here we are. I know we're here, because there's a yellow arrow blinking at us. It is day 1, we have 44 steps. It's the entrance hall. Past the steps and beyond the grand doors, admission to Mount Holly is granted by way of a dark and garish lobby, suitably called the entrance hall. From here, each guest's adventure begins. However, the 3 doors that proceed onward do not always lead to the same adjoining rooms. Permanent blueprint. Rooms, 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 rooms. The antechamber. From its root meaning the room before, all signs and paths point towards the antechamber. This mysterious sealed room, resting on the 9th rank, may prove, however, quite an initial challenge to even reach, let alone enter. Still, you can't help but draw a connection between this chamber and room 46. Mysterious room mentioned in H.S. Sinclair's will, named only by a number. Despite the house's official blueprint of showing a total of 45 rooms, the words of the legal document make it apparent that a 46th room in the house in fact exists. Finding this room is your primary objective while on the estate. It is, after all, your bequest. Rarity rumoured. Bedrooms, hallways, green rooms, shops, red rooms. Well, that's a lot of rooms in it. Right. Which way to even begin? What about left? Do we want a bedroom, a closet, or a hallway? One of the very few things I know is that more exits is probably better. So, let's do a hallway. This gives us 2 more things to branch off of. Clasped hands. Weird bracelet, tetromino-y looking thing. And someone holding a crowbar. Okay. Doors in the West Wing are more likely to be locked. Interesting. Maybe I should start in the right wing most of the time then. Parlour, lavatory, or storeroom? Let's keep placing things that branch, shall we? Well, there he is. We have a wind-up key, component of the parlour game. I also know what this is, because I have seen it. A hat and some sand dunes? One of the other very few things I know is that this is always a 3-box logic puzzle, but the exact puzzle is always random. And I know what one of the puzzles is, but there are many more, I am sure. And I only know one of them. And it's a rather... It's pretty classic, the 3-box logic puzzles. Dear Herbert, it was a great honour receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the old hands this past Thursday. If I'm being frank, it's been quite a while since we had last been in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I had mentioned to you a rather singular parlour game I had played some years back involving 3 boxes of different colours. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game, when I found the time, and I have included with this letter all the details you will need to share with guests should you be inclined to play this confounded game. Always your friend, M. Lowry. There will always be at least one box that displays true statements, there will always be at least one box that displays false statements, only one box is surprised within the other 2 are always empty. It's a figure out the liar style thingy. This box is the middle box. No, it didn't. The gems are in the middle box. This box is the middle box. No, it didn't. Well, since this clearly lies, and this clearly lies, and there has to be one truth, this must be true, and this is the middle box, therefore open. And we have 2 gems. Cool. Spare room, west wing, hall, or corridor. Corridor is always left unlocked. We don't really need a right, since we have access to that room already. So... corridor? Okay, a box, a candlestick. I can see the outside from here. Well, we are hugging the westmost wall, so that makes sense. That is the room that I am in right now, the one marked with an E. Does that mean anything? I'm going to be saying that a lot. Does that mean anything? Does this mean anything? Does this hat mean anything? There is a biplane. Okay. Very cool. Den, nook, closet. More exits is better. This clock says it's almost 10 o'clock. There's a chess pawn. A very large one. Fireplace. This clock also says it's 10 o'clock. It's kind of sat on something. Some ridged wooden surface. Oh, maybe not wooden. If it was wooden, it would probably be on fire. Clocks. There are a lot of clocks in this room. There's a crow, maybe? And a man in a rowing boat. And another clock. Huh. Yeah, the clocks are actually moving. That's why the time is always different. Time is actually progressing. Surprisingly swiftly as well. Okay. There are probably going to be some secrets that are only accessible at a certain time. I know how this kind of thing works. And we have a gem. This way. Spare room, bedroom, storeroom. It might be nice to have a bedroom here for more steps as I pass through. I might be going this way at least once more. Let's do that. +2. Bowls. Cupboard. Photo of a lady with a crescent moon-shaped necklace. You know it's important, because it's in a slightly different art style from the rest of the clothing. Can't open that. What is that? A 3-tier cake stand? Maybe. A finger pressing down on something. Greetings from Reddington. Yeah, it's probably in the place in the picture in the lobby as well. Thinking about it. Box. Anything else to look at? Books, lots of books. Chair. Origami swan. Ooh. You definitely look like something, but I cannot interact with you. Another hat. A necktie. Gem requirement. Commissary passageway. Chapel. Whenever you enter the chapel, lose 1 money. Do I even have any money? I have gems. I don't have money. Well, let's see what it is. It's a chapel, alright. Pews, candles, a bishop. Very fitting. 3, 2, 5, 6, 4. This is something that I think I want to write down. This looks important. I'm being given a sequence and a set of things. Hold on a sec while I get a pen and paper. Or a pencil and paper. That'll do. Alright, what I have written down is chapel, farmer hoe, cook, pizza scoop, stable hand, rake, chimney sweep, maid, broom, rider, riding crop, I guess, and queen, in that order. What does it mean? Don't know, but it must be relevant to something. Why else would they be clearly numbered like that? Alright, what is in this direction? Closet, spare room, or nursery? Where are we on the map? Blocking the entrance hall, annoyingly. Nursery. sounds interesting. We get a bunch of steps. All blocks, more blocks. Colourful cupboards. There's a large goose. Or swan. One or the other. I don't know whether or not it's unnamed or unfinished. A bridge. What is that supposed to be? Dinosaur? Dragon? Dinosaurish dragon? The Red Prince by Marion Marigold. There was a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a red crown made of rubies and a red castle made of stone. The prince had a love for all things red. It was the only true colour, the prince often said. He could not stand the sight of a canary or crow. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. And he never looked up for fear of the view. He heard that the sky was not a red hue. So he always had a book to turn his eyes down, if he was ever outside when the clouds weren't around. And do you know which book the prince always had? The one that made him happy whenever he was sad. A story he had read in the bath and the bed, and maybe you can guess with the clues that we've said. It was the story of a boy who also wore red, and he looked like our prince, from his toes to his head. And as you, my reader, might already assume, this book is quite near you. In fact, in the same room. A story about you, if it needs to be said, about a red prince and his book, the red book we just read. Fun, but is there anything actually helpful in here? Unsure as of yet. I don't see anything that jumps out at me as obviously hinting at something. Has creepy eyes. Okay, room. Let's try this way. Guest bedroom, lavatory or pantry. Well, it is another bedroom. And it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get back to the entrance hall. Unless if I do a pantry it might go somewhere. I want to see what's in the bedroom though. Plus, I get an extra 5. So we have plenty of steps now. Folded up towel, folded up laundry. Anchor on the wall. Another Queen of Diamonds. Gem. Sinclair, just wanted to write you a clip note thanking you for the weekend. I had a thrilling time on the hunt with Lord Avonson, whose particular personality somewhat made up for your own absence. I also got to appreciate your new game in the billiard room. It's been ages since I've seen the billiard room in the house. I was beginning to think you retired the floor plan. It was well worth the wait, though, as I always enjoy your mathematical puzzles, and appreciated that I didn't need to know the rules of darts to play your variation. Hoping your health improves shortly, K.L. Okay. I wonder if I'm on a time limit as well. It's approaching midnight. Oh, here we are back in the entrance hall. Plenty of steps. Do we have plenty of rooms? Spare room. Relatively uninteresting room. What is this contraption? Tape dispenser? Observatory. +1 something or other for each time you've drafted observatory. Or Nook can get a key. I'm more interested in the observatory right now. It sounds like a more exciting room, relatively speaking. Okay, we have a spinnable globe. Okay, it does actually rotate a little. It doesn't stop in the same position it started in. 10. Okay, we can spin this. Backward or forward. Or further that way. Okay, we can spin it all the way around. Do we want to spin it so that it's actually looking outside? Seems sensible to me. Or it could get stuck up against that wall. That might be interesting also, though, because now we can look from the other direction. Yeah, we can angle it up. Does this just go up and down? Can it go up any more? No, it just goes up and down. I see that knight back there as well. Okay, well now we're looking outside. North Star? Gain 1 money? Okay. Not totally sure what that did. The Fixed Stars, Stargazer's Companion to Constellations by Richard Witt. Bird & Sons Publishing, 1809. This book contains a complete star base, a list of constellations, and the observed effects that accompany the appearance of each one. Depending on the number of stars in the sky that can be seen on any given day, different constellations of various sizes may be visible, sometimes more than one on a single day. This book, a solid base for astronomy, will help you identify these constellations, impress your friends, and discover the joy of stargazing. North Star, 1 gold. Twins, 2 trunks added to the entrance hall. Slice, 3 steps. Diamond Dust Miner, 1 gem. Silver Cross, rooms with 4 doors are more common. Farmer's Apple, apples are extra delicious today. Clavis the Key, +1 key. Diamond Dust Major, 5 gems. Access the dead-end rooms are more common. For sale, everything is 50% off. Florist, Bloom of the Sky, green rooms are more likely to contain special flowers. I don't know what most of that means yet. The apples one is interesting, though. Because I think I know where to get apples. I'm just missing a code. Veranda. Bunk room. Counts as 2 bedrooms. Well, there's only one of these that isn't a dead end, so veranda it is. We got a shovel. What, pray tell, am I going to dig with this? A few unimpressive pebbles are not even worth picking up. Huh. Was there anywhere diggable back outside? Nothing of interest. Again, only one that doesn't dead-end me. To the nook. There's a castle here. Or a rook. Whatever you want to call it. A journey noteworthy. As you continue your adventure, you may want to consider getting something to scribble down your notes and observations. A pad, a scrap of paper, or perhaps most fittingly, a journal will prove to be an invaluable tool you will not regret having beside you on your journey. Well, I have one now. Very much. One key. What is this? Jukebox? Big old radio? There's the mountain. And a lot of books. Again, only one that doesn't immediately dead-end me, but it's gonna dead-end me in a second anyway, because that leads to a blank room with no available exits. Aha. Well, I'll take it anyway. Arcade machine. Water dispenser. Whatever this thing is, dispenser. Courtyard pantry storeroom. I can't back out of it. Courtyard. Staff noticed. Effective the first week of December, payroll for all live-out and seasonal staff will be managed electronically. As your attendance will no longer be registered at morning roll call, it is doubly important that you do not fail to clock in and out at one of the electronic computer terminals on the estate. 2 of these terminals can be found at security, where the punch clock used to be, and in the laboratory. Any questions or concerns regarding this process should be directed, as always, to our house manager, Miss Babbage. Terminal password. It's been scribbled out. Begins with an S, though. Shaking? Worth a try. Or snaking? It's something that begins with S and ends in ing. Shaking isn't even spelled like that. Without. Commissary will be closed from day 12 to day 16. Sorry for any inconvenience. Huh. Clock and lock. Annual Maid's Day sale, 2 days only, all items up to 50% off, all staff welcome. Day 20 and 21. Beep boop. Can't do anything with the arcade machine. What is this? Dirigiblocks. Huh. Well, I can't buy anything. I do not have enough money. But I could theoretically buy gems and salt shakers. And maybe sledgehammers and metal detectors? All I currently have is a shovel. Is there anywhere to do any shoveling in here? An old tin can. Great. A sledgehammer, shutter, padlocks, and locked trunks. Metal detector, greatest chance of finding keys and coins. And what do you know? Lots of coins. Though, I appear to be pretty stuck. What do these do? Anything? Whenever you eat food and gain steps, gain an extra step. Okay, so the courtyard is probably a very useful room. Because I get... Assuming they're always there, of course, I get 2 useful items every time. Okay, well... I want to take another quick look out here, just in case I missed any diggable spots, but I think we are pretty stuck for the day. I'm very curious what's in there. Still no way I'm getting through that. Unusually shaped mountain. Oh, hi. Walked straight past you the first time, didn't I? There's a door there. Don't know how I would ever get in, mind you. I don't see anywhere overly diggable looking. I think we may be done. Before I call it, though. Room directory. How many rooms have I found? How have I not found room 1? Spare room, an unfurnished, and otherwise unremarkable empty room. If there had been at some point plans for this spare room, it would seem that its designs are now long forgotten. Parlour, cozy lounge furnished with couches and armchairs, serves as the perfect social setting for receptions and after parties. Consequently, this was one of the most popular rooms for entertaining, and the late H.S. Sinclair was known to supply a myriad of parlour games to encourage his guests to think and conversate. Nook Snug Corner Reading Room serves as a quiet, private place for guests to spend a few hours of their afternoon away from the hustle and bustle of the staff. Then, a more traditional family room, warm and inviting. So comfortable, one might assume that the countless clocks surrounding the sofas are placed in a futile attempt to avoid inevitably wasting the entire day here. No rooms. Observatory. Housing an impressively large telescope, Mount Holly's observatory is a window to the world above and beyond the clouds and sky. Through its mirrored lens, even a novice stargazer will be able to distinctly appreciate the wonder, signs, and constellations that punctuate the tapestry of night. These are some evocative descriptions. Bedrooms. Familiar room that you may have slept in at some prior visit in the past. Like most bedrooms of the estate, these quarters offer you a little rest and recuperation during your long days exploring the surrounding rooms. Entry. Guest bedroom, a small bedroom maintained and kept available for accommodating weekend guests and impromptu visitors who find themselves compelled to stay the night. Nursery, one of the few rooms you vividly remember from your visits here in your youth, though even at that time you remember feeling a little old for the activities provided here. The twin cribs found in the room might suggest that at one point there had been some hopeful expectations of a sudden growth in the family tree. Hallway, one of the many nondescript hallways snaking through the estate and providing elegant causeways between the more noteworthy destinations the house has to offer. Corridor, a long hall with two doors at either end that had been one of your uncle's most frequently travelled rooms. Consequently, it left strict instructions with the household staff that the doors of this corridor should never, under any circumstance, be locked. Courtyard, a charming spot granting guests a bit of fresh air and open skies within the privacy of the manor walls. Veranda, relaxing breezeway serves as an ideal spot for rocking chairs and lemonade. Commissary. Staff commissary is always stocked with household goods and supplies at reasonable cost. This provides the servants of the estate an invaluable service, especially to the live-in staff who may only expect to leave the property once or twice a month. Where are they all now? And chapel, a private sacristy, as ornate as the most lavish rooms of the estate, is watched over by 8. I only counted 7 of them. That big window beyond the altar obscured there must be one of them as well. 8 are Ajarian angels depicted in stained glass. I don't know how to pronounce that word. This room was more a tribute to your uncle's vanity than it was to his faith. Well, it is in fact a day. Quaint cottage. Another. Day 2. Okay, each day appears to start at 8 o'clock precisely. Same notes. Same pictures. Same letter. Shall we start with right? Let's start with right. Corridor sounds good. Safety pin opened. The tree. These are definitely different pictures from last time. Parlor again. And the key. That says the same thing. What do we have on this occasion? This statement appears on another box. The blue box is empty. This statement appears on another box. Well, these two are both true, which means that this is false, which means the blue box has something in it. Open we go. Storeroom, best bedroom, nook. Let's keep not dead ending. One key. Vintage car. A minecart. Hallway, den, bedroom. The bedroom's no good. And the den just seems outright superior to the hallway right now. Unless there's anything I do not know. Maybe I should be taking note of which chess pieces appear in which rooms. That could be useful information. Commissary, utility closet, or storeroom. Commissary heads in a helpful-ish direction. Don't have anything I want to buy right now, mind you. But I'll just take that not a dead end right now. Ooh, security. View inventory of all items currently in the house. There's a cutscene in here. Where are all the hidden cameras placed? Anybody seen any hidden cameras? Because I sure haven't. But I suppose they must be here somewhere. I have a new idea for what that word is. Until further notice, the antechamber has been unlocked and access levers are no longer required to grant entry. Keycard access security doors are more likely to appear in the higher ranks of the estate. Likewise, as a redundant security measure, normal doors in the estate will also be more likely to be locked as you progress north. Toaster, coffee machine. Toaster, microwave. Different appliance. Security door is locked by an electronic keycard. Well, great. I don't have one of those. Blue memos equals true, red memos equals lies. Something to write down. Is that implying that the Red Prince's little book was a book full of lies? So what does that say? Unless written by hand. Ugh. Good thing I spotted that little amendum. Yep, I can see myself moving about on that camera. Yeah, great. What is in that cup? Scribble liquid. Welcome to Mount Holly Security. View estate inventory. Following is a detailed list of items currently in the house that have yet to be collected. This list will be updated as new rooms are added. Nothing. Keycard system. Security doors are doors within the estate that can only be opened with the electronic keycard. The keycard system is currently operational. Security level medium offline mode locked. Determines the default setting. The security doors will be set to if power is lost during a blackout, for example. As a general safety rule, offline mode should be set to unlocked if any staff are working on the estate. Let's change that. So that means the breaker room would now disable the security doors, if I am reading that correctly. Security level determines the amount of security keycard doors that will be deployed in your estate. You should expect to see 1 or 2 security doors with a low setting and 4, 5 or 6 with a high setting. Let's set that to low. Don't know why I would want that on any other setting right now. Terminal password. Does it need to be in caps? Shifting. Nope, that wasn't it. Yeah, that's not even spelled correctly. I need more information then, I think. Shifting seemed appropriate, but, alas, no. Tapes. Purge the tapes! There is a knight in this room. So yeah, that's a lie. That's true. That's a lie. The commissary will not be closed. Magnifying glass. I would like one of those, but I have no money. And I also have to backtrack quite a way, unfortunately. That uses up a few steps now, don't it? Alright, let's through this door. A dead end. But which? Lavatory or closet? Lavatory. It's a lavatory, alright. HS. Right. It is in fact a bathroom. There's water here. But that kind of appears to be the only thing of any use whatsoever. Huh. Pantry? There's a ladder. There's flour and sugar. There's some coinage. There's an apple. 4 plus 2 steps. Egg timer. Bridget, please put a cup of some more fruit before Friday, as we have just been informed that we may have an extra guest exploring the house next week. 50 steps should be more than enough, so I think an even spread would be ideal. 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. You've enclosed a match to cover expenses, but please bring back any change from the order and leave it in the pantry. So if apples are worth 2 steps, then that is a total of 10. I would guess bananas are worth 3 and oranges are worth 5, because that would all add up to 50. 10, 15, 25. Great. I'm about to be completely blocked again. Almost. Save me bedroom. Patio. Spread gems in each green room. I need more exits. Westering Hall. With radiators. Staff notice. June 15th, 1983. That's a while ago. Out of respect for the late Lady Clara Espin, the Westering will be closed until further notice. All the floor plans associated with this wing have not been removed from the pool. We ask that staff members refrain from drafting them during this period of mourning. Likewise, any staff may draft This dead ends anyways. Opportunity to earn and spread money. Let me take a closet, just because it's pretty new. Another key. Clothing, boxes. Little gap I can squeeze myself into. I kind of want to get the utility closet just to test my theory that that's going to open the security door back in the security room. Let's do that. Because that would be helpful information for future knowledge. Keycard entry system. Danger. Toggling of breaker switches may result in unexpected loss of floor plan functionality. Please call DC Power if you require assistance. Vac indicators. Gymnasium, darkroom, garage, cabinet. The vac indicators are, but I've turned them all on. And the garage. It's another bit of a walk back to the house, unfortunately. Lights are off. Nobody's home. I can get in. I assumed because it was grayed out I wouldn't be able to, and thus just clicked something at random. Unhelpful. Compass. Draw floor plans leading north more frequently. That's helpful. Unfortunately, I'm stuck. Where is that light coming from? It's just a pinprick of light beaming into the room. Well, I appear to have gotten myself stuck once more. Still, we made a little bit of progress, I think. Closet, a very modest, recessed space used for storage. This particular closet is favoured by the junior members of the staff, who utilise it to stash away assorted articles and knickknacks whose proper place in the estate is yet unknown to them. Pantry. A well-stocked pantry is always the true test of a large estate, and keeping Mount Holly's wide gamut of ingredients and supplies stocked has always been one of the primary priorities of the household staff. Excuse me. Utility closet. One benefit of the restoration of old buildings is that it allows the owners to update and add modern amenities. The utility closet and circuit breaker box within were set up when gas-powered lighting was retired and replaced by a more fashionable home electrical system. Control room with state-of-the-art surveillance equipment, inventory system, and access control via an electronic computer terminal. This room is where the estate's patrol guards kick up their feet and thank their stars for living in a modern era. West Wing Hall. West Wing of the estate has been closed since the death of Lady Epson. It is unsurprising, therefore, that this hallway in its neglected state features boarded windows and dust-smothered furniture. And a lavatory. A room one might go to great lengths to avoid showing guests, despite them always probing for its location. Well. The picture of the house does change a little. We don't have the observatory thing poking out this time. 6 new rooms. Another. Door on the right. Nook. I'll take a den, I think. Yoink. This way. Let's do another parlor game. Yoink key. This box and the white box are both empty. And there is a second wind-up key in this room. The statement on the white box is true. I highly doubt there is a second wind-up key in this room. There are some regular keys, though. Hello. Car keys. Well. I think that means open this box. Yep. We are in a gap anyway, so I think we may as well take guest bedroom for the extra 10 steps. And a key. Okay. Drawing room. You may draw new floor plans while drafting in this room. Well, there are a lot of drawings in it. Give it that. Drawing floor plans. Each time you click on a door, you will draw 3 floor plans, from which you must select one to draft. However, there are some items and rooms that will allow you to redraw if you do not like your initial 3 options. There's lots of the same man leaning on his umbrella. Empty mantelpiece. And man sat on his chair. Security room, commissary corridor. I think I kind of need an upward-facing room. Even if, again, I don't have much money. Redraw. Hallway. That's better, I think. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. Well, we know that this is a lie now. I could make a nice connecting circular lot of connections. Which, sure looks nice, but isn't particularly helpful. Don't really need more steps right now. Give me some items. Ooh, passageway, lovely. It's a fitting little set of passages, but opens up a lot of options. Left. Pantry? Apple? Money? Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Yeah. Let's take you in case I get the security room again. See, why is that? It's twice now I've entered the room labelled on this diagram, and there's been an E here. What do you call this? Left column, rank 2? Equals E. Whatever E is. Okay. Northwood. Ooh, experimental house features. Yes, please. Sounds interesting. Periodic table of elements. Oh boy. Oh boy. This machine requires additional power piped in from the boiler room. Oh no. I'll come back to you momentarily. Alright. Good. Heating and cooling curves. H2O mounting point at 0.1 ppt to 0.5 ppt. Room temperature complete thaw. Test 205 at atmospheric pressure. 93 kPa in Mount Holly freezer. Lab technician Randolph M. Water freezes below 0, don't you know? I typically work over at Sinker Labs, but got sent over here for a month to assist more with the new turbine tests. I think I need some help. For the past 3 days, I've been unable to find the laboratory on the estate. Today was the first success on that front. Can anyone tell me if this is typical, and if so, how do you get any work done? Before I arrived, I was briefed on the way doors work, but I must admit I did not expect to be excluded from my new workstation for the first week. Any tips for my fellow technicians would be appreciated. Kimberly Thompson. Mount Holly Laboratory. In the laboratory, you're free to experiment by testing and combining different mechanics to create an original and unique house feature that will last to the end of the day. Research logs. No experiments found. Pause experiment. Demo in progress. Log on to network. Nope. Blank isn't the correct password. Choose a cause from column A and an effect from column B. Aquariums. Permanently add gold. That sounds good. Draft a red room. Permanently add 1 gold. Start experiment. I don't know when that will be done. Maybe randomly when I draft something. Effective immediately, electronic mail can only be accessed via the security terminal. Well, that's a lie. But how do I access it? Bunsen burner. Okay, give me a second to puzzle this out. Okay, I have figured decoding that, and the message is push 3 up after 9. I may need more information than that. All I have is that at some point there's a 9-3 involved. But there are many more levers to go than that. Still, information obtained. Ooh. Darkroom. Archives. While drafting, you will no longer be able to see all 3 of your potential floor plans. You cannot see the floor plans while drafting in this room and storeroom. Well, let's take the dark room. Experiment successful. Your allowance has been raised. And my steps have been depleted. It's definitely dark in here. That one. It's another red room. I go all my steps. It appears to be a gymnasium. Weight room. Lose half your steps. Great. I've been thoroughly de-stepped. Well, it appears to be your standard issue to gym equipment. Great. A boudoir. I think I'd rather have a regular bedroom though, just to get a couple more steps. Well, it's a much larger house, if nothing else. Whenever you draft a bedroom, gain 5. I'd have enough gems. Storeroom it is, then. I haven't seen a storeroom yet, anyway. A coin, a key, a gem, a very large painting of a pod of peas. Rocking horse, carpet. And on the right we have East Wing Hall. Launder currency? What? Premiums do not cost gems to draft. That could be helpful. Don't really need another upper exit right now anyway, so I think I'll take the terrace. Oh, I get some money. And a cup of water. And a good view of this guy. Holding a book and a little globe on a string, maybe? Fascinating. The door is locked. I'll use a key. I have plenty of them. Corridor is always unlocked and gets me further up. And I don't need a path to the left. Anyway, corridor it is. Well, we're going somewhere. Book room counts as 2 bedrooms, would give me a lot of extra steps. Would also dead-end me, though. I'll take the chapel. Besides, it gives me another experiment successful. This way. Code check. Check one item and retrieve it on another day. Ooh. That could be helpful. Or I could continue going further up. Let's have a look at the coat room. So we've got a picture of a coat. Coat check. Check item. Yeah, sure, I'll check the car keys. Retrieve on any day you have a code check in your house. Or... better not find a garage now. Dining room. Each day a meal is served in the dining room after rank 8 has been reached. I don't think I'm going to get there today. Commissary, I might be able to buy something. What is that word? I can buy a salt shaker. Fine, cool. Am I gonna find any food? Yes. But I cannot get that room anyway, and I would not have money to buy it with. So... there's a safe back there. Christmas tree. The safe is covered in wrapping paper. This might be helpful if I had the magnifying glass, perhaps, to zoom in and see what's on this keypad at this point. Yeah, I think I need to come back here when I have a magnifying glass, because I highly doubt. Yeah. I don't know the code. Shame. Dining room, bunk room, kitchen. Well, it gets me steps, but can I even be able to make it back to the dark room? Unlikely. Dining room. Hello. Unfortunately, food is not yet being served. I'm running into a lot more locked doors around here. Billiard room? Just to see what it is. Snooker. Or pool. Or both. Or billiards. It's all hitting balls around a table. Yeah. There's a little bar back here. I think our in-game character is a little bit too young to be drinking alcohol. He's what, like 14, right? Maybe a little bit older by this point, depending on when Matey died. Still. Huh? What am I doing? I know this is something to do with maths, but I don't know what, like, at all. Am I doing 9 plus 6? 15? Yes. 16 plus double 10? Triple 10? Does that make any sense at all? Unless, hold on. Green divide. There is no yellow. I don't know the rules of this game. Locked. Drat. I don't know the rules of this particular darts variant. I could be poking at this thing for ages. I need more information. Push yourself to the very edge of exhaustion and must now return to your campsite to get some rest. You can continue your search tomorrow, however the house might be a little bit different. It's an ordinary villa. It's larger. We almost made it to the antechamber, but it's going to be blocked off anyhow. We need more information. At least we got a lot of new rooms. I'll look at them next time, so as not to start a new day and then immediately leave it.